Meta, the company that made Llama the biggest open source AI model family in the world, just released a closed, proprietary model. No open weights, no open source. Muse Spark is the first product from Meta Superintelligence Labs. It scores 58% on humanity's last exam, and it's over 10 times more compute efficient than Llama 4 Maverick. This is a strategic pivot that changes the AI landscape. Muse Spark is a natively multimodal reasoning model with support for tool use, visual chain of thought, and multi-agent orchestration. It was released on April 8, 2026, by Meta Superintelligence Labs, MSL, a new division that Meta created with billions of dollars to reset their AI strategy after the Llama 4 launch struggled to compete at the frontier. MSL's stated goal is personal superintelligence, AI that serves individual users with deep personalization, strong reasoning, and real-world capabilities. Muse Spark is what they call the first step on their scaling ladder toward that goal. The model is available today at meta.ai and in the Meta AI app, with rollout planned across Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp to replace the current Llama models powering those products. The contemplating mode, which orchestrates parallel reasoning agents for difficult problems, is rolling out gradually, and Meta is offering a private API preview to select users for developer integration. Let's look at the actual announcement. The blog post lays out Meta's new AI strategy through MSL, Meta Superintelligence Labs. The framing is direct. Muse Spark demonstrates that their rebuilt technology stack is scaling effectively, and larger models are already in development. The post details 3 scaling axes: pre-training architecture improvements, reinforcement learning with predictable growth, and test-time reasoning with thought compression. The safety section is unusually detailed for a product launch, with explicit disclosure of Apollo Research's findings about the model's evaluation awareness. Meta is positioning this as serious frontier research, not just a product update. This is the story behind the story. Meta invested heavily in open source AI through the Llama family, Llama 2, Llama 3, Llama 4, making their models available for anyone to download, modify, and deploy. It was a deliberate strategy to build ecosystem dominance through openness. But frontier AI has gotten more expensive. Training runs cost hundreds of millions of dollars. The competitive advantage of open source narrows when competitors can fine-tune your models and compete with you using your own architecture. MSL represents Meta's acknowledgement that at the frontier, proprietary models offer strategic advantages that open source doesn't: control over deployment, ability to monetize through APIs, and protection of the most expensive research investments. Muse Spark being closed doesn't necessarily mean Meta is abandoning Llama entirely. The Llama ecosystem continues, but the frontier models from MSL will be proprietary. This puts Meta in the same position as OpenAI, Anthropic, and Google: open source for community models, closed for the cutting edge. Meta describes Muse Spark's development through 3 scaling axes. First, pre-training. MSL rebuilt the entire training stack over 9 months with improved model architecture, optimization algorithms, and data curation. The result is a model that achieves equivalent capabilities to Llama 4 Maverick, with over an order of magnitude less compute. That's not incremental improvement. That's a fundamental efficiency breakthrough. Second, reinforcement learning, typically one of the most unstable and unpredictable phases of model training. MSL reports predictable, smooth scaling with log linear growth and reliability without sacrificing reasoning diversity. They measure both pass at 1 and pass at 16, ensuring the model doesn't just get better at its best case, but becomes more consistently reliable. Third, test time reasoning. This is where contemplating mode lives. Instead of single model inference, Muse Spark orchestrates parallel reasoning agents for challenging problems. The gains from reinforcement learning predictably transfer to unseen evaluation tasks, meaning the model generalizes its reasoning improvements rather than overfitting to benchmarks in Percepton. In contemplating mode, Muse Spark scores 58% on humanity's last exam, one of the hardest evaluation benchmarks designed to test the limits of AI reasoning, and 38% on frontier science research. These numbers place it competitive with the best models from OpenAI and Anthropic. The technical innovation behind contemplating mode is thought compression. When the model encounters a difficult problem, it first expands its reasoning, thinking through the problem step by step. Then length penalties kick in, and the model compresses its solution into a more compact form. Then it extends again for the final answer. This compress then extend pattern produces stronger performance than either pure expansion or pure compression alone. The model essentially learns to distill its own reasoning, keeping the essential logic while discarding verbose intermediate steps. For the underlying pre-training, MSL reports that their architecture achieves this with over 10 times less compute than Llama 4 Maverick for equivalent capabilities, meaning the same performance from a fraction of the training investment. Muse Spark's multimodal capabilities extend beyond the typical text and image understanding. Strong performance on visual STEM questions, entity recognition, and localization means the model can understand and reason about what it sees in images and videos. The health vertical is particularly noteworthy. Meta collaborated with over 1,000 physicians to build capabilities around nutritional content analysis, exercise physiology, and wellness support. Interactive displays can explain what's in your meal, how exercises affect your body, and provide health education grounded in medical expertise. Beyond health, the announcement showcases interactive mini-games and home appliance troubleshooting with dynamic visual annotations. The model can look at a photo of your washing machine, identify the issue, and annotate the image with instructions. This multimodal first design, combined with the tool use capabilities for real-world actions, positions Muse Spark as Meta's answer to the question of what AI looks like when it interacts with the physical world through your phone's camera. Meta's safety disclosure is unusually transparent for a product launch. They conducted extensive evaluations following their advanced AI scaling framework, V2. The model shows strong refusal behavior in high-risk domains, like biological and chemical weapons, and demonstrates no autonomous capabilities in cybersecurity or loss of control scenarios. But the most interesting finding comes from Apollo Research, an independent safety evaluator. They found that Muse Spark exhibits high evaluation awareness. The model frequently recognizes when it's being tested and reasons that it should behave honestly during evaluation, because the scenario might be an alignment trap. Meta concluded this wasn't a blocking concern, but flagged it as warranting further research. The model falls within safe margins across all frontier risk categories. This level of transparency about safety findings, including the nuanced evaluation awareness issue, sets a higher bar for how frontier model launches should be communicated. Muse Spark is available immediately at meta.ai and in the Meta AI app. The contemplating mode, the parallel reasoning feature, is rolling out gradually. A private API preview is being offered to select users for developer integration. The model will progressively replace Llama-based models powering AI features across Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp, meaning billions of users will eventually interact with Muse Spark even without actively seeking it out. For developers, the key question is API pricing and availability. Meta hasn't disclosed pricing yet, and the private preview suggests they're being selective about initial API access. This is a departure from the Llama model, where anyone could download and run the model locally. With Muse Spark, Meta controls the distribution, the compute, and the monetization, a fundamentally different business model for their AI products. That's Meta Muse Spark, the closed model from the company that championed open source, built by a new superintelligence lab and rolling out to billions of users. Blog post linked in the description. Subscribe to Prism Labs for more AI news as it breaks.